open again. Can everybody please stand for the pledge? Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's go.
Any agenda reorganization?
I think we talked about taking E separately on the consent agenda. I think we were considering that.
Okay. Alright, and there's nothing to report out of close. And we finally have students back.
Yes, we
So
do.
you guys get to Rochambeau and what do you do first? I mean, you don't have to.
Okay.
We just
Oh man, this is our first
I think it's all that. You should
week,
let them
Madam President.
bring a little entertainment to us.
Give them a break.
Who wants to go first?
Would you like to go alphabetically?
Would you like us to tell you what to do?
Oh my gosh.
I'll go first.
There you go.
There we go.
Hi everybody, I am Harsimar Guman. I am the ASB Vice President of River Valley, and today I'm filling in for Parb Simran Kaur. She is our student representative for our River Valley, but she has planned this whole agenda. I figured out yesterday that I'll be speaking for her. But she is a student athlete right now, playing for volleyball varsity. So right now they're at a game, I think, at Wheatland. So she told me if I could fill in for her, and I gladly did.
Sure.
But she will try to be at the next meeting because of volleyball. And then our first day of school highlights are our ASB team dedicated the month of July and August to do our team building workshops. So we had meetings, we made posters, just really planned out the first day of school. And then and here is how it went. So starting off the day, we had a successful meet and greet at the quad where students were able to meet with staff and their teachers, and then also with each other since 2 months off. And then we had fun activities in the morning, such as face painting, music, and then we had a pancake breakfast. And we also continued our annual rock paper scissors game with our class colored beads, and that was really good. And then we had friendly competition, uplifting school spirit. And then we headed to our welcome back assembly, where students were able to receive information about their first day of school, how it's going to go. And this year we also have a new principal, Mr. Greco. We had to introduce him. And then we also had a lot of new teachers who we had also introduced. And then us as ASB were also introduced. And then after our short assembly, we had a rotation between homeroom and our freak show. This is where our underclassmen and upperclassmen are rotated. So some, for example, our freshmen or sophomores would go to our freak show, and our juniors and seniors would go to our homeroom teachers. And then during homeroom, our River Valley expectations and our Pride expectations were explained to students, and then students were able to connect with their peers. And there were also an informational slideshow provided by ASB, which were also able to write letters to our future selves that were going to be given at the end of the year. And then our freak show was our other rotation, where we were able to showcase our pride and spirit. We had our cheerleading team introduce chants to the students, and we had fun activities such as dressing up for our different football games, and to encourage just student involvement and participation. And then after that, we had our festival and our lunch, where we had many interactive games and activities for the students. We had golf, football, joust, all the themes. And then we also had hair tinsel, face painting, balloon making, and music. And then students loved the festival as everyone was able to find an activity they enjoyed, and students were actively participating. And then ending the day, we had our Live in the Nest rally, where all the students gathered at the end of the day, and we were able to start off with our cheer performance. Then we had our fun activities such as four corners, bingo, and then showed our summer highlights. And then we ended off with our cheers. And then the rally was full of spirit, and we received amazing feedback. And then currently we had our first thing for ASB was our Pride committee. They had the July and August birthday event, and we gave out popsicles. And then we are preparing for our Freaks Committee, which is tomorrow. And then during our Falcon Hour, we're just going to give like an insight what do Freaks do and preparing for our football game, which is this Friday. And then this week, also on Friday, we are having Club Rush. So this is the time where all the clubs get together. This is where everyone signs up for clubs. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is the book? I'm sorry.
Are you saying freak show?
Yes.
Falcon Freaks.
Oh, okay, I'm like, what's the freak show?
So-
I don't think I've ever heard this term.
But she explained what it was.
Oh, okay, I might have been snoozing or something. I don't know, but I did
It
not
was
catch
where
that.
they taught them cheers and
Yeah.
All right, I did not hear that, but I kept thinking freak show.
So Falcon Freaks and the Brown Mob at YC.
Okay,
That's coming.
all right.
But
all right.
see, you did it. You named something that caught his attention, and he'll remember it now. Well done.
Thank you.
Quick question: is the football game home Friday?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Other questions?
Good job.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Yeah, are you guys going to classes? Because this sounds really too fun. And there should be some studying.
Yeah, actually during the first day we had our, it was after the festival, then we went to our first, second, third, and fourth, and then we had the rally.
All right. That's acceptable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice job.
Yes, good job.
Hi, my name is Harshi Karam. I also have my talking points and stuff. It should be at everyone's desk. I passed them out earlier.
Gold star.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Let the record show.
So today is actually our first home game for volleyball. So the season just started, and we have a home game, so that's coming up. We're preparing for the Mayor's Cup, which is a game against RV. It's this famous rival game. So that's coming up along with homecoming, and we're getting ready for both of them. We're also working on these spirit walls, which are these ginormous, they're on wheels and stuff, but they're just movable walls and stuff, and we decorate them, and they're covered with themes and stuff, and they usually have spirit days and stuff written, so we put them in front of our school so when the kids walk in, they can see what's going on, or if they want to take a photo with it, because we make it look really nice. We're also starting making promotional videos, promoting the upcoming Mayor's Cup and HOCO, and posters are being made as well. Our first Senate meeting is going to be on September 2nd. The school Senate is kind of like our school, like a government of sort, and we're going to start organizing and coordinating upcoming student activities, and the kids can go on what events are coming up and how to run the school. If they have any issues or anything, that's where it gets brought up. Our school's ASB applications for this upcoming school year are still going on for new students or freshmen that want to join. Those are going to be due on September 3rd. Our first football game is going to be on September 4th, and that's going to be a home game. We also have our school's Powder Puff, which is when all the grades, your freshmen, sophomore, junior, and seniors, it's for girls, and they practice all week, and then at the end of the week they have a football game against each other, and that's pretty fun. That's coming up soon, and we're going to start promoting it, and that's going to be on October 6th, but we just to talk about it now because a lot of students need to get their physicals cleared and stuff. We also have food fair coming and homecoming royalty nominations. That's going to start on the next 2 weeks. Food fair is basically when clubs raise money for their clubs and stuff for fundraising. What happens is, since we're not allowed to sell specific not too junk food and stuff, so if it's too sugary and stuff, we can't really sell it on campus. So to compromise, on B Street we have a bunch of stalls and people set up tables and they sell stuff for their clubs, and it's during lunchtime, so it's a really good way for clubs to raise money. We also have Mayor's Cup Spirit Week. So the week of Mayor's Cup is going to be September 18th is the game. It's going to be at RV. But that week we're going to have a Spirit Week. We're just going to have dress-up days that go accordingly to the theme. Our theme is Block the Falcon, so it's kind of fun.
Oh, now you know.
Yeah. Mayor's Cup is going to be really important. It's going to be, we're going to have a brown mob set up where a lot of students are going to like be cheering and stuff, and just have a specific section where we encourage students to sit. That's basically our Brown Mob. We're gonna have posters. Sometimes we have music, flags. It's really fun. The week right after that is going to be homecoming, and we're also going to have Spirit Week. We're going to have homecoming voting, and we're going to have a parade, and then on Saturday is going to be the actual homecoming dance. For our parade, it's going to be the school band and high school team are like big groups. I'm not sure which ones exactly, but they'll be walking around the hallways and stuff, and the band will be playing the musicians while like teachers are allowed as the parade goes by your classroom, teachers can allow their students to leave class and join in, and then everyone in the parade like meets in the quad and stuff, and that's when they're going to have homecoming royalty announcements and nominations and stuff like that. We're also gonna also have like games and stuff during then too, because it's going to be like a shorter rally just in our quad that gathers people. All board members are also welcome to join us on Friday for the actual homecoming game. We're going to have activities at the Honker Stadium, so look forward to that. It's going to be on September 27th. 26th, or on the 26th we'll have the dance. So actually the 25th will be the game. 26th will be the homecoming dance. That's going to be from 8 to 11 p.m.
We weren't invited to that.
Yeah, that's about it.
Nobody wants to see us game.
Thank you so much.
That's a really good job.
Really good
I know.
job.
Thank you so
You guys
much.
did a great job.
Yes.
I have a question. Are you guys doing like shirts for your guys' mayor's stuff?
No, they're not, but that is an idea I'm willing to bring up to my school's leadership in ASB.
Okay.
If you want to.
Nice answer.
Or board.
Gold star.
Yeah.
Good job.
Take the rest of the night off. That's good. Good work.
Or do the games usually happen later on? I feel like I'm tripping. Because I feel like
They're
these,
earlier in the
yeah, that they're
calendar.
earlier in the calendar year than usual. Are
We
they?
start school earlier, and so the
So I'm tripping.
preseason games are happening, and then legal starts.
Joke.
But they're not in the league, they're not in the same league either.
Correct. So RV
It has to be earlier.
is the best.
Well, it does seem like September for the homecoming game it does seem early.
Yeah, because I was like, I swear it felt like it was later, but.
Homecoming is earlier.
Homecoming
Mayor's
always
comes
is.
in.
Yeah. You're not tripping.
Okay, good. I feel like this is out of place, but maybe that's just me.
You're getting the one jokes.
Okay, comments from the public on items not on the agenda? None. Cool. Consent agenda? Any questions?
I'll make a motion we approve with the exception of B.
I'll second it.
Okay, on a motion by member Dami, second by member Pretty, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. So go back to E.
I just have one clarifying question. The changes to the job description, if I'm not mistaken, it just has to do with bringing it to legal completely compliant language, which is just a removal of a certain phrase.
So the job descriptions were board approved in July, I believe it's July 26th, 2016. And so the job description and its contents remain unchanged. What is being removed is from the employment status at the top where it says as needed, which was no longer legally compliant after the law changed in 2018.
Okay.
And I have one more question. These people, the people who perform the crossing guard and lunch duty, monitoring, recess, whatever, those people have always been considered classified service, even if they're not part of CSEA. Is that accurate?
The past 10 years.
Since 2018.
Since 2018, okay.
I have a question about the salary schedule. Are we on that?
Yes, that is part of
That's all part of E. Okay. I understand. I'm gonna preface this with, I get it, that I am an outsider as far as all my experiences in the corporate world. But I noticed your degree and professional growth. I'll start with the degree incentive. I'm confused about, in the sense that I didn't see on the job description that there was a requirement for a AA or BS or MA or doctorate or any of that. There wasn't a requirement for the position.
Correct.
Okay.
And so currently, that's true across the board in our job descriptions. Some may require a degree and others don't. Oftentimes we'll use the language preferred and some are silent on it. But as an educational institution, that has been offered across the board to our employees. This salary schedule mirrors our others. If that is something that this group wants to look at, that is certainly possible.
Because it doesn't make them a better like if they have a bachelor's in modern foreign languages or business or whatever, it doesn't make them better. Like in the corporate world, you are compensated because your degree adds value to the position for which you're hired, right? But if this is just a fairness thing, like it doesn't make sense to me to if they have a bachelor's, if they have that education, there are other places where we could absolutely use them, right? But giving them a higher salary just because they have a degree, but it doesn't necessarily make them better at what they do. Like it's not a direct beneficiary, like the school, like the noon duty. Again, I have a degree, most of us have a degree. I wouldn't say that would add value to the position. Does that make sense?
It helps in critical thinking skills, it helps in all kinds of things. I mean,
I had a master's in audiology and I got a stipend.
Whether or not your job required or benefited from it.
Even though I was a multiple subject teacher.
So this is a
master's in
copy paste
audiology.
kind of thing. Okay, got it. The second thing I have is I noticed that professional growth, it says they're compensated above, okay, oh God, heavens to Betsy. Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't give any sort of, okay, so it's 24 cents per hour above shown on schedule will be paid for professional growth for the completion of 9 units may earn a maximum of 5 awards with no more than 1 award being granted any 2-year period. But once again, this doesn't have any like any sort of parameters on it. Is the professional growth, like what constitutes professional growth? Is it for this position? If I go and I get 9 units in mid-17th century Italian opera, would I be remunerated as such? Would I be compensated for such?
yes. According to this language, yes. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we not putting a boundary on, like, we're happy to pay more when it adds value, but me singing La Traviata as the children pass would not be helpful. I know that's a terrible analogy. I don't say my analogies are good, so I should probably get some professional growth in that. But I'm saying that it doesn't make sense.
Can I make a point?
You can. This is your meeting.
Well, it might contribute to, I guess, the point that you're making too. I remember when CTA members were trying to submit approval for units, and there was a process, right? And I know that there were some that it was easy for them to be able to verify and follow that process. I think that's kind of what you're alluding to here, of like there is a process that CTA members had to go through in order to get their, like, move over step and column, right? To get those units. I think that's kind of what you're alluding to, is what
are the boundaries they're in?
what's the, yeah, kind of. I understand where you're coming from with that. Because CTA had to go through something, has to go through something.
Like, I want to pay, look, I'm just going to leave this out there. You all know this. I want people to be paid fairly. I want them to be paid well. I don't want to be like, but in order to be paid well, you have to get this degree that has nothing to do with the job that you're doing, right? So I don't know how it compares to what they're already getting. I'm sure it's probably several steps up. I don't know. But I'd hate for them to take a step back, or even just aside, and be like, okay, but you've got to go and get this degree. That's not going to make you a better crossing guard. I mean, to your point, obviously, when you do hard things, right? But I'm just saying as of like in the business world, does it add value to that, or is it just sitting in classes to get a degree and still doing the same job I was doing? Yeah.
I do, there's discussion on both sides of that. Currently, they're getting paid $16.90, which is minimum wage. And minimum wage will be going up January 1st to $17.40. And so that's why we're bringing that first step to you at $17.40, just so that we aren't doing this again with the statutory
Minimum wage,
increase in
sure.
minimum wage. And so this salary schedule is designed to not only reflect that, but also to honor their experience in the same way that we do for employees across the district and their commitment to the district, same as we do with the other positions. Really, the structure is meant to mirror, I know you said copy paste, but to mirror the way that we're treating our employees across the board. But they are certainly things that you as a board can discuss or give us recommendations on. I do think that in the future, we may be coming to you with discussion about whether or not there are retirement reporting changes around any educational incentive and how they're structured. So across the board, as we get more clarity on that, there may be conversation about that, but this currently mirrors our practice.
For teaching, for your teaching credential, you have to turn in hours, but it has to be consistent with. You just pay the money?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, your credential?
Yeah.
Now we know. So, but I guess if it is then mirroring, to mirror your language, if it is mirroring, then the requirements would also be mirrored, correct?
The intent is to follow the practice that we currently have.
So,
But like I said, I do think that there's going to be a broader conversation coming around retirement reporting as it relates to additional units or any sort of educational incentive.
but is there a boundary in place for professional growth? Or can I go to a basket weaving conference or whatever, and be like, okay, well, it's growth, right? It's growth. I learned something, right? No offense to basket weavers. Thank you. I love baskets. But I'm just saying, like, in my current job, you know what I mean? Like,
I do, and I am new enough that I have not sat through that practice all the way through the city, and I can gather some information for you.
to just remunerate for education's sake.
Sure.
Just because education, in certain aspects, certain places, I could totally see that with teachers. I know, you're all tired of hearing me talk. I'm tired of hearing me talk.
Just a point of
sensitive. How are they?
Just a point of
I'm talking about
clarification.
practice, Mr. Wilkie.
These three, this mimics to me like the CTA contract a little bit, right? Because we have the degree that's written out and blah, all that stuff. Can you just tell me if this is also in all classified? Is it aligned with all classified?
Our classified
Positions
positions
have the
degrees.
same-
Yeah.
Have the same
Is it the same language?
equitable longevity degree and all of that in there? I don't.
Honestly, I do see Mercedes over here. Do you?
So I just want to make a point that we do have a degree stipend and we do have longevity and we do have professional growth. The process is outlined in that contract on who gets that and for what. You just have a document that says they get it, so that's not equal.
So
The intent was
perhaps
to
that
do
language
this.
needs to be added to this? I don't know. If there's language in the classified contract,
These are unrepresented positions, the practice would, I think the intent
But
of
if
the
we're saying
practice
that the
would continue,
practice-
the employer practice would continue for classified folks.
my question is are the goose and the gander being treated equally? The members that are classified but not part of CSEA being treated the same exact way that members of classified that are CSEA being treated, as far as what type of education or what that is.
I think that maybe a better way is not necessarily are they being treated. It's if we were to go. I think of it through the legal lens, right? Like if we were in front of a judge right? Could they make the same determination if they have this piece of paper versus that piece of paper, right? Whereas this piece of paper has those addendums that clearly lay out the process, right? But this paper doesn't clearly lay out the lay out all the process. So do we just need to add that process in with this paperwork so that way it's clear if it was to go in front of a judge?
Like under the asterisk, where it's like prorated by total number of hours worked per day, asterisk, as per our approval process outlined in board policy.
Perfect.
For district practice.
There we
There we go.
Would that be sufficient
Is
and
the,
clear?
so that for my clarity, is the board's desire to include professional growth but be clear on practice? Is it to not include professional growth?
No, I'm fine with
professional
leaving
growth
all
is
of
No,
that.
I think you have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just adding in, like you mentioned, like what per district practice.
As approved by district practice,
There
or,
we go.
following district practice approval processes.
Or however you
How,
massage those words to make it make sense.
I think what I'm hearing is that they're feeling like it's not specific enough in terms of the practice we're using to be able to implement the stipends and professional growth.
because of this, in this case, I could go online and print out a project management certificate and give it to you and be like, all right, I want my stipend, right?
Right.
There's no,
Okay.
is there language?
So in terms of what I think Jordan is referring to district practice, you can't just walk in with a certificate, you do have to show
Transcript or something like that.
But this doesn't say that.
Correct,
So what can we reference in order to include that? If we want to get this approved tonight, I think that's our major, that's our one speed bump.
Jordan, would it be maybe we can move on with the agenda and come back to this one at the end?
Yeah, give me a minute to take a look at what language might work with the least amount of, we're trying to do this with the least amount of moving pieces since it's a practice that's already in place.
Sure.
So I would love that, thank you.
And if you need to step out, I mean, that's okay.
Okay, I'll just take a look for you.
Alright, action item A. The speech therapy writing.
We're seeking approval. We have AK and a PIT program, preschool intervention program, that are in need of services for speech and language services. There is a more local company, speech therapy, speech therapy garden, who we want to go into contract with to provide these services. So staff is seeking approval to move forward with services with this company.
Tino, I had a question on this one. In the master contract, like if you go down to page 40 something, 40.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, exhibit A. The question I had is, this is for speech. Why does it have ISS, assistive technology occupation?
Yeah, that was a clarifier, that should not be on there.
Okay,
But the rate sheet does clarify all the services are $120 an hour.
okay.
And the rate sheet identifies I think 9 or 10 specific services they offer.
Okay, and then the other question I have is, this is for one, I'm assuming one FTE that's in person and one that's virtual?
Yeah.
So this is for 2 speech pathologists.
Yes.
And I just wanna ask, we're not paying them overtime, right? It's duties within the day,
Yes.
the same way that a unit member is able to
Yes.
complete their work. So if they take it home, they take it home.
This is outlined just on the contract, the set fee.
Okay, because the last contract that came to us, at the last board meeting, it did say that there was overtime hours.
And this one does not have.
This one does not, but the last one actually did. So, and you said this one's a local place?
Yeah, it's in Woodland.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of districts have used them. Marysville used them for years, but the desire is never to go virtual
Yeah.
with speech services, so we have to look at the needs of each student on the IEPs to see which ones will be most conducive to use that service.
So you said one is at AK, one is for the PIP program.
Yeah.
Have you guys
So the
established?
in-person will be at AK
Thank you.
Would be at AK for,
for speech.
and they wouldn't be with the PIP kids? The PIP would be virtual?
Most of the PIP would be virtual, but based on looking at the needs on the IEP and what services the kids need in speech, we would have to work out if we need to have an in-person
Sure.
SLP work with those kids.
Is it PIP or is it on the general ed side?
It's on PIP.
Okay, and this entity couldn't provide us the two in person?
We did not. We always desire in-person services.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've had to go this direction.
Yeah, okay. Well, if one comes available, please let them know that.
Yeah, we're trying to find as many service providers we can. We don't desire to do virtual.
Yeah, gotcha.
So my concern is if we approve this contract and the rate's not written in,
The rate's written on the rate sheet, so we have it on the,
$120
it's $120 per hour, and there's a,
okay, so this was just showing,
yeah,
That-
that should not be on.
otherwise it's like a one check.
Yeah, that's the rate sheet for the services.
Okay.
Can I make a motion we approve?
Second.
Okay, on a motion by Ramaswamy, second by Brady, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. B, declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
I'm going to cover for Jordan since she stepped out. So we annually are required to bring forward the declaration of need for fully qualified educators. On the fourth page of the document, you'll see what we'll be submitting. The possible need for single subject limited assignments, art, math, music, 1 PE, and so on. Correct,
Make a motion
Thank you.
I make a motion we approve?
I'll second it.
On a motion by member Dami, second by Brady, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. New district office employee.
Yes, as written in the staff report, we have already approved Rodin Builders to perform the remodel work at the two new district office buildings. And what we're asking in this board resolution is to allow myself to complete the final negotiations on the Lease-Lease Back documents. There are two big documents that are included in this. This is very standard language. We've used this before and other things, so it's really just kind of going through with their legal, making sure that it's works for them as well. The second part of that is actually moving forward with the authorizing the phase 1 part of this, and we really need them both to work at the same time in the sense that we need the lease back before we do any work. So that's why we're doing that. I'll be working with Rodan to finalize the lease back, but we are asking for approval to move forward with the demolition part. Currently, the plans are with the city, and we're going through the approval process. We won't start any construction until that is all approved. We'll come back with phase 2 once we have that. But really, we just want to start moving on the demolition part.
Okay, so we're kind of under a time crunch, I would imagine.
That's why we're doing
It's
this.
like,
Yes.
what does lease back mean? Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah, I understand.
And you say that so quickly, it's like,
No, I get it. It
No,
is,
I read and reread and I don't get it.
So the lease back is a process that allows us a little bit more discretion in selecting a contractor that is not just based on the lowest price, and it is a mechanism. So that's and it is complicated, but it is allowed under Education Code 17406 that allows us to do this. And essentially, we lease it to the contractor. While it's under their lease, they do the work, they lease it back to us, and then we reverse it all at the end. And I know it's a little strange process, but it allows us to select the contractor based on multiple criteria, not just the lowest price, but also on quality and those types of things. And also, it allows us to kind of work with them in the design phase, which makes it often a better process and project anyways. It is complicated, I get it.
Okay, thank you.
So Scott, let me just clarify. So there is the lease back that you'll continue to work with Rodan on. You're requesting that we go ahead, that the board approve the implementation of phase 1, which would be the demolition. but the lease back will come back to the board for final approval once you finalize.
That is exactly right. So these documents are mostly done. There'll be some final tweaks. I'll work with Rodan on that. Once that's done and signed, we'll bring it back to the board for final ratification. Final approval.
So right now, we're just approving the demolition.
You're allowing me to finalize the documents, sign the documents, but I will bring them back to the board to be ultimately ratified and approved by the board.
And we're working with the city, and they know that we're under a time crunch, so maybe they'll be helpful.
I'm hoping,
Well, we
and
hope
the
so.
answer is yes.
We've already talked to them and asked them.
Yeah.
I have a request. When it comes to how much we're budgeting for I know we've gone through and we had like the estimate of how much this whole renovation is gonna cost, and that's come to the board. I would like to request that when we start getting these big ticket items that are coming our way for like approval, that kind of deduct from that like number, can we get a running log of like, hey, we approved, or the contractors or whatever, they came in and they said that this project is gonna cost us $2.7 million to do. Well, this bill is $500,000, so this is what we planned, we've already taken 500 and blah, blah, blah. So that way by the time we go in, I'd like to have an
Make
idea.
sure that we're on budget, under budget, or over.
I'd like to have an idea as these big ticket, I don't need to know the nuances of like the nickel and dime stuff, but the things that come to this board, I would like to have a running log of, if that's possible.
Yeah, in some form, so I'll kind of work on that, but essentially even in this, what we tend to do is we have a contract amount, but we also put contingencies because we always know there's other. So typically what would always come back to you is we're within budget and within contingencies, typically would bring something back for approval, but we could bring an informational report back. If there's anything that goes above the contracted price, above the contingencies in a change order form, that has to be board approved. We would absolutely get that approved, but I think we can kind of keep you informed of progress along the way through either Friday letters and or bringing some stuff back to the board as well.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't think it's appropriate to include it in like, in each like action, I don't think that that's appropriate, but yes, I'd like to be apprised of how much we're spending on that. So if this is like the first step, because even when they came to us with the plans, they had contingencies built into what the total was as well.
And that's standard for every construction contract,
Sure, but I just wanna like, if we're gonna start hiring other things, I don't wanna because I already don't feel comfortable with how much we're spending on it, but I understand that that's prevailing wage and all of the hoopla and all that stuff, but I just want to be
and so also the next step to this, so now we'll have the lease back in there, and we have the quote for the demolition part. I'll bring, before we even start construction, we'll have the quote for the build out part of it. Okay, so that will come to you before we start, so you'll have that, and then from there we can kind of keep you informed as to where we are with in that budget.
Yeah, well, I and then do you mind just telling us what those people that came up here and told us like, hey, here's option A, option B, whatever option a couple months ago? Can you tell us what they had budgeted to begin with?
I could if I would have.
In their plan or whatnot, because that gave a number to me of how much we're going to be spending, and
I can email it to you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Do we have to vote on these separately? The
This is a
demolition
resolution, so
versus
we'll do a roll call vote. Is that what you're asking? Sorry.
Well,
No.
Together.
This
Together.
is all one action item.
Well, I just moved that we approve.
Second.
On a motion by Member Bondside, second by Member Ciola, all roll call.
Why do we have to do a roll call?
We can do that as
This should probably
Member Bonsley?
Yes.
Member Ciola?
Yup.
Member Donnie?
Yes.
Member Lamb?
Yes.
Member Pretty?
Yes.
Member Quilty?
Yes.
President Carr?
Yes. Motion carries. D, replacement of obsolete floors and new equipment.
So we do this regularly, typically annually, and we just have a replacement cycle. These are expensive floor cleaning machines for both the hardwood floors, or not the hardwood, but the hard floors, and also for the carpet as well as for extraction equipment. So the quote is included. It's we're looking for approval of $130,000 worth of equipment of custodial.
Do we not get multiple blocks for this?
That is actually a great question. I don't have the answer to that for this. I don't know what to do with this.
Okay, I don't really feel comfortable approving it.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
On a motion by member Ciociola, second by member Bonzlet, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Do we wait for Greg to come back?
No, we have a quorum.
With 5 yeses and 1 no, motion carries. E, second reading for proposed revisions.
Thank you. So I bring back the next set of board policies for second read and recommendation of approval.
I do. I just have one. Y'all buy your lottery tickets tomorrow. It is, I noticed, okay, so it is board policy 3516.5, emergency schedules. On the policy index, it says we're adding health, okay, to the list, health conditions as a reason for which the superintendent or designee is authorized by the governing board to close the school site, change the regular school day schedule, comma, or take any necessary action. Okay, but there's no law associated with adding the health, right? Because it continues, additionally, policy update to reference, so additionally, comma, policy update to reference new law, parentheses, SB 1429.2024, end parentheses, which add. Okay, so that tells me now we're in new law territory, but we just added health conditions, which we didn't add health conditions, we actually added health to the first paragraph. Health, well, I get it, health or weather conditions, but with your comma there, there shouldn't be a comma there if it's health or weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conditions, if that's the adjective, there shouldn't be a comma before the conjunction. But I see what you're doing there. Sorry, I had to do that out loud. That was embarrassing. Okay, but I guess my question is, I'm not sure why we're adding health, because what you have here is, if you're at the actual policy language, it says, in order to provide for the safety of students and staff, the governing board authorizes the superintendent or designee to close a school site. So this is serious. Why is she bringing this up? Well, because I think closing a school site, as we've all experienced, is a very serious thing with long-term repercussions. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, so we should really think about the reasons that would constitute that. Change the regular school set or take any necessary action, that's quite a broad statement, when hazardous environmental, I think we can agree, hazardous environmental, totally, health or weather conditions, or other emergencies warrant. So my question is, why are we adding health when it's not part of the law, or at least what is annotated is not, it's not annotated as such. But it says, or other emergencies, because if we are thinking COVID, right, would that not just be under other emergencies? Like, why be specific about health? Because to me, as a parent, as a community member, now you've added health into this serious list, right?
If there's an outbreak of measles,
wouldn't that be under other emergencies?
I don't, Well, it probably would, but I think that just adding the word health makes it a little bit more specific that that's allowed.
But you've already got this broad brushstroke, take any necessary action. That's huge. And now I just didn't understand how that, I'm with you. Like my brain goes there, my brain goes to COVID. Obviously we shut everything down at COVID. We didn't have to have health in there. I'm just wondering what has changed. Why are we adding this? Because there's more questions I have than answers by adding it.
Well, and I think you're very clear and you're articulated. I think the reason why the California School Board Associations is recommending that is because we did have a very significant health issue within the state of California. So that language was probably added there. I think it also makes clear because I understand what you're saying is the broad term would encompass health. I think it's just calling that out. Is it required under Ed Code? No.
Well, hazardous environment, right?
I have more problem with them including snowstorms. Okay.
Well, I mean, it is kind of weird that they're including health in it because I'm thinking wildfires. You know, in the state of California, we have fires. You know, I mean, I could see fires. We don't really have that many tornadoes or hurricanes or things like that, or we don't have snowstorms.
Look, this isn't a hill I'm going to die on, regardless of the bad grammar. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that was on.
But like in an over-regulated state such as California, I wonder why we're adding more lists when it's like, or other emergencies, like, and obviously we still shut the entire school district down for an elongated period. We didn't need to be like, well, health wasn't in the 3516.5. We can't shut it down. Does that make sense? So why are we just doing it because CSBA was like, you should do this? And we're like, okay.
Well, I think that the role of CSBA is to make recommendations. It's to run past their legal, and part of it is to make sure that the community who read the board policies understand the reasons behind it. So it expanded it. So you'll see there's and then you've been clear that there are times where you feel like the lists are too inclusive. The broad term, whatever you said, is all inclusive. And so I think that it was a clarification that was added to the policy. Is it required by Ed Code? It is not. So the board has a prerogative to leave it in or take it out.
I personally don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I vote to take it out. I say I make a motion we approve the policies with the exception of 3516.5 and just get rid of health. It's covered. That's my motion. Second? Okay. That's right. We can disagree and be friends.
So without a second, the motion dies.
I move that we approve.
I'll second, even though I made the motion.
Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Sorry, didn't hear you.
I'm just looking for motion.
On the
Can't
motion
second
by
yourself.
member Pretty, second by member Dami, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay!
Okay.
Nobody reads it. No, but nobody reads the board policies.
Amanda? Did you get that?
It just is superfluous. Doesn't need to be in here. But
It's like one word carries.
superfluous. It is.
Thank you.
It is so much of.
Go ahead,
Okay, so I am bringing forward board policy 9250 for consideration for revision. But prior to that, I do have some information that was requested. I'm going to try to do this. In terms of board compensation and history, so Ed Code 35120 governs compensation for school districts governing boards based on ADA. school districts with an ADA between 10,001 and 25,000, which would be Yuba City Unified. The statutory cap was set at $400 per month from 1984 to 2025. So this was governed by the Education Code.
42 years ago.
Yes. So I'm going to just give you the timeline. So before 1984, the cap for the district with our ADA was actually set at $240 per month in 1977. And then in 1984 through 2025, Assembly Bill 3108 increased the base cap for districts with an ADA our size to $400 per month. And this did remain unchanged in the Ed Code 35120 for nearly 40 years. And then in 2025, Governor Gavin Newsom signed Assembly Bill 1390, increasing the maximum allowable monthly stipends statewide. So based upon AB 1390, these are the new monthly compensation caps, and so it is ADA driven, and so you can see the amounts. So from small districts to the largest districts and the amounts associated. Again, for Yuba City Unified, 10,001 to 25,000 would be allowable up to $2,000 per month. In terms of district comparisons, I was asked to present information. I apologize. I think the presentation is in your handout. I was asked to do some comparisons by districts and counties. So I did a Northern California district with ADA close to ours, or enrollment close to ours, and then the monthly compensation caps are listed in the third column. So two districts that did make changes to their monthly compensation caps was Chico Unified. Their amount is $1,250 per month, and Roseville City School District went to the full 2,000, and you'll see their enrollment. Chico Unified has an enrollment of 11,800. Roseville City Schools has 12,700. Also was asked about the cost of living index, and so I used the national average, which is 100. And the cost of living index included in the national average is housing, utilities, which is electricity, natural gas, fuel, water, groceries and food, and transportation, which includes gas, insurance, and then healthcare. So in comparison, again, the national average is 100, Yuba City Unified is 118, Marysville is 111, and so on. I was also asked to provide some information in terms of we attend the School Boards Association Conference annually, so you'll see from per board member the costs associated, which is the CSB registration, hotel accommodations, travel costs, and meal reimbursements. And so from 2025, 26, and going back 5 years. I do have to, based upon if there are to be any changes to the compensation 9250 bylaw, have to present the certified ADA. So the certified ADA for Yuba City Unified in the 25-26 school year was 10,500.90 students. Sorry, ADA.
There was a 0.9 thing?
It was, well, the attendance was 0.9. So just gave you the actual certified number. All right, and then in terms of total compensation, so current compensation for the board is $400 per month. Your health benefit cap, and so I present to you the amounts annually over time. So in 2022, the health cap was $9,840. It remained in place until 2025, went up to $10,440. And then it remained the same for 2026. And again, this is the cap, not what you may be taking in terms of your healthcare plans.
How many board members take the health fund?
Is that a good so there have been, depending on the year, board members have taken it, and then some of you have no longer are eligible because of age. So I believe in the 2026 there are four members taking it. So there's been anywhere between all taking to, and it just depends on your circumstances and age.
So the cap is, this is the health insurance is like one of those things I don't put my head into.
So it's the amount that the district will pay towards your health benefits. So
Okay.
that's the maximum amount per year that the district will pay for health benefits.
But it doesn't mean that every year the 4 board members take $10,440.
It could be, it depends on the health plan they take, and so they're different health plans, and so the numbers, if I did it by board member, will look different because
Right.
some board members take,
But it can't be any more than
it cannot be any more than that
10,440.
amount.
Okay.
And that's 10,000 for everybody that pays insurance, not per person.
No, it is per person.
Is it per person?
Per year.
It's per
Per
household.
year.
Per household, okay.
And health insurance typically costs more than that, so if they take health insurance, they'll get the cap and then they'll have to pay the difference.
My point, and just to out myself, as if you had any doubt, one of my reasons for asking for this information was just because every dollar that is spent on us is spent by the taxpayer, basically, regardless of what it's for. If it's our salary, if it's our health plan, if it's our meals or transportation to and from CSBA or conference schedule, it is paid. None of it is free. We all know this because we all pay taxes in this room. It's paid by our neighbors. And so I wanted to get a good look at how much our neighbors are paying for us to do this service. That was my main thought, because we're accountable to them for how we spend our money. Thank you for doing that.
Yes. So with that, I bring forward bylaw 9250, remuneration, reimbursement, and other benefits for the governing board. I have not inserted an amount. It was previously 400, which was the amount. I've left it open. This is first read. I presented you the information that was requested. If the board, so one of the other part of the new law is that if the board were to not take the full amount and you wanted to, you can increase the amount you receive by 5% up to the maximum amount in the law, and that would have to be done annually in a public meeting. So there is the ability to raise the amount up to the, I'm going to say cap.
So what you're saying is, we can go anywhere from the 400, which is currently, up to 2,000, but we can take anything in between, and we can just freeze it there until the board takes action again?
Correct. So yeah, so if you wanted to, I'm going to throw an amount out there, $750 a month, but you'd like them to bring back annually to consider a 5% increase in that amount, you can. You'd have to do it in open session, and but you have you can do that as well.
Or we could say we'll raise it at this point to, let's say it's been 42 years, we'll double it. We'll take 800 a month. But without the caveat to bring it back every year for another 5%.
Right.
We could just say
the bylaw allows you to do that if you so chose.
Okay.
Is there an opportunity to add in, like, shouldn't say requirements, but like duties for board members of, like, because right now the way that we get paid is by attending the 2 board meetings, right? It's split between the 2 board meetings. So if we're doing other school-related duties, that it's tied to something like that, because right now, the way that it kind of sort of is that I attend 2 board meetings and I get paid $200 for one meeting, $200 for another.
And I believe there is a definition of board responsibilities within your bylaws, and so that would be your responsibility as you've been, and so.
But it doesn't, like, for me, like, what I mean by that is it doesn't dictate that I need to go and.
It doesn't pay for play.
I'm sorry?
Pay for play. Like, if I don't do this meeting, then I get docked from the entire amount, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I think that there's an element of accountability too if we decide to increase our pay, right? Like, for me, if I was to say, yes, let's raise it to whatever amount that it is, I personally would want to be held accountable, and I want to have some requirements on myself of right now, my job description as a board member doesn't dictate that I need to go to a school site or do a district-related event or what they, like, you know, this many times or whatnot. You know, I'm just saying
But
accountability on my
that's why we do it. And
No,
this
I
is-
know,
And
but-
the thing is like I understand you're a full-time worker. You work full-time.
Sure.
So if I'm out and about at the schools during the day like I am, as much as I can, I'm doing that for all of us. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Because you work.
No, I understand
But
that.
you're always there in the evenings.
I understand that. I'm just saying.
I just think you do what you can do.
Writing the verbiage of what you're talking about would be a fairly monumental task because of all the ins and outs
Sure.
that are possibilities.
Sure.
I think having it based upon board meetings, and I also think if there's only one board meeting a month, I think that I mean, whatever the pay is, if it's $400, there's only one board meeting a month, then you're paid the $400 for attending that board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
If there's two and you miss one, then you get half of that. Does that make sense? That's just my take on it. I mean, because, you know, doing the reading, I mean, I will honestly say that I don't think anybody in this room spends more time reading through all of this stuff than Kirsten does.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I start on Sunday. That's all day Sunday. You're reading agendas.
All afternoon. But seriously, I mean,
Shelley knows I love her.
Well, we appreciate you. I mean, I read, but I don't read as much as you do.
Well, we have, I think, I love where your heart is at. I feel like I hear the heart in a merit-based program. Like, you know, that's my heart. Like, I love that. I like the accountability. I like the fact that we are accountable to our constituents specifically and our community wholly. And how we execute that is a matter of conscience. Unfortunately, in the way this political system is structured, the voters tell us every 4 years, and some of them more than that, and please do voters talk to us all the time, but they tell us if they think we're doing a good job. And they're the ones that opt to hire us again. And they are the ones that we work for. So they're the ones that choose whether or not we continue in that. But I like where your head's at as far as personal improvement opportunities, you know, and things we could all be doing better. I don't think any of us are sitting up here and think like we have arrived at the best we could possibly be, you know, but unfortunately we're not remunerated for professional development for 24/7. I'm just kidding. Yes, it was
But
for
yes,
the Scott Bentley head shake. Yes.
I feel like
It's what I like. It's what I live for.
some of those other duties are kind of like they're not written, but
they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
He's the
I think that's
Those who
just part
choose to serve for a reason.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's
It's
any.
part of our responsibilities as a
And
board member.
I don't mean any ill intention of anyone that's on this board. You know, I don't by my comment at all. I just think of like personally, if I'm getting paid to do something, I want to have more expectations of what that's just me personally. That's no reflection of anyone or anything like that. But this is a first read. Thank you for bringing it up. I don't
Thank
have
you,
any other
Doreen.
questions.
Is there anything else that you need?
I just want to say I did also on the flip side, I did an inflation. Well, I didn't do it. All right, let's be real. Google did it, okay? But I told Google to do it, and $400 in 1984 is the same purchasing power of today's $1,285.54.
I think that's a good number to put in there then.
For so you know. I don't know what
84
all
cents?
because again, like I said, every dollar they spend on us, right, that is from our neighbors. That is coming out of their pocket.
I did ask the Chico, when I was at one of my classes, I did ask the Chico people, because they were talking about this. And I did ask them, I said, well, does your district pay for you to go to the CSBA conferences? And she said yes.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
So
So that's a normal
their
expense.
salary increase was over, I mean, those things were over and above this salary increase. Yeah. I did ask her that.
Is there any other information you would need?
Are you not having fun up there?
No, I'm just saying in terms of
If
the
it
next
comes back
meeting,
for a
is there
second
anything?
read,
Yes.
do we need to have a number in that spot?
Well, that is the whole revision to the policy, so
Right.
the policy was just revised, so the only thing that needs to be filled in is the amount. If you don't take any action on it, it will remain at $400.
Now, Kirsten, you said the number was 12 something?
1285.54, and that's Google.
And 12 is similar to the cap for a smaller district.
That's Chico's is 1250, right?
Yep.
Correct. So Chico Unified, if you look on the
12 is the cap for somebody that's 1,000 meters and 1,000.
Thank you. Yeah, let me go.
1,200.
I would be very
So-
comfortable
sorry.
moving it to that amount.
So that is the comparisons by district and size, and so Chico Unified is a little bit larger than we are. And they did raise theirs to $1,250 a month. Roseville City, which is 12,700, went to the full 2,000, and all the others remain at the 400 currently.
I suggest we put in the amount of 1,200 flat. Skip the 84 cents.
The $84.
I think she said 84. Oh, okay.
And 54 cents or something.
Something like that.
I mean, it'll come back for a second read and then the actual action. I don't think
But
she
as
did
a
that
second
right
read,
now.
it has to have that amount in there.
Otherwise, it's not a second read.
Right.
You
That's
guys
why
can
I'm
put it in if that's
putting
fine.
that
You
forward.
can. So yeah, I can pop any number in there, and you can always, in your action, revise that number, or because basically you would be revising the bylaw at that point in time.
Is there, since we're discussing, is there anyone that doesn't want, that says, let's just keep it as is? Oh, okay, all right. Okay,
Can we elect to do some, like if I personally wanted to move some of that into like a scholarship or something for kids, can I do that?
Yeah, so your bylaw actually allows you to decline the money, and so you're able to do, it's the money that has been approved by bylaw, whatever the bylaw is, and then you have the right to ask to have the money.
you can name your own
denied.
salary.
Well,
As long as it's
I
lower.
don't want it to go back into the general fund and then Scott uses it on the construction of the new buildings, okay? So maybe I outline it a little more fine print than that, but I'm just.
Well, you could also like
So as a
take the
donation.
money and then just give it to
Or just put it back in the schools
the
like
part,
we all
yeah.
do.
You can make a donation, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting into the weeds, but thank you.
So we could work
Jasmine, you
with
can
each
make a
individual
donation.
separately if we needed to.
Yeah.
Did NBC make like a $30,000 donation?
I know, that was incredible.
Yes, to the Berry School Library.
That was, how did they get that?
So Kirsten Kircher she won the award for the educator.
That's right.
And,
Yeah.
And she donated it back.
right. The community voted her in. So yes, thank you. The community was a big part of it. So she was voted in as the educator. So there's a $30,000 prize amount that went with it, and she's donating it to the Berry Library. And that assembly is this Friday.
And that's amazing.
Sorry, I should have brought that in at the end.
Yeah, so anyways, all right, so direction is that you would like me to make a revision to the bylaw with the amount of $1,200.
I didn't hear anybody say anything good.
Well, you can always make the change.
Okay.
Is there any other information needed for the next meeting?
Thank you for the information provided. Appreciate that.
Thank you. We're gonna go back to consent item 8.
Take it away, Jordan.
You already have board policy that outlines your discretion to set employee compensation for your classified employees who are underrepresented. For this particular item, you can approve it with the directions you need to add district pre-approval of units required. And then we can send communication to the employees of that process and what that looks like so that you have it in writing. My thinking is that it would mirror our current practice, but it's always open to discussion on if you'd like that to look different for them too. But it would not keep you from approving that district pre-approval of units is required. I can
So you're going to insert that language that it will.
If we motion and it's approved, and we vote.
You can approve it with that addition.
Yeah, I make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Member Ciociola, second by Member Pretty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Sorry, did I cut you down?
No, she cut me out because I wanted it for you.
Next time we'll do a thumb war or something. So violent.
Alright, any board reports, information, discussion? No. Any written communications from the public? No. Comments from employee reps?
I'll go first this time. She went first last time. I'll start with 6. Oh, that's okay. You were here earlier. I was tutoring. Thank you this evening. I'm Trinity Counts President of YCTA. It's been an exciting 2 weeks. School has started. Everybody's getting in the swing of things, and I'm learning to balance my 2 roles now, plus my home roles still, because I still have a child who's a senior, which that's fun. I had my first rep cancel last night, so I was very excited. We had 12 out of 17 schools attend in representation, so including child development, so 17 schools, we had 12 of them, and 5 out of the 8 district programs, like counselors, social workers, speech pathologists, and everything. So I was very excited. I had a full house, so I had 17 people plus the e-board there. I now call it the e-board, and everybody thinks it's a new tech tool. I don't say exec board, I say the e-board, and that's because that's what CTA's been calling it, so it's in my brain. We kind of changed a little bit of the format, so we're doing pluses and deltas. So as they come in, they have a form that they're filling out that has pluses and deltas, and we share out those pluses and deltas, and some of them had a little hard time with pluses, but I'm really working on some pluses because I'm always a positive movement type of person. But it's slowly building, and I'm hoping that throughout the year I can build up to hopefully 2. That's my goal, like within 5 years. But if it happens sooner, that's amazing. One concern that I did not know if I was just letting the change go is something good. I've kind of realized the unintentional consequences of putting in gender-neutral restrooms. It is putting a strain on employees being able to go to the restroom in a short little amount of time, because we have 8 minutes to go to the restroom, and there's 40 of us all trying to go to 3 bathrooms that are now cut down to 2 bathrooms, because one of them has changed to a gender-neutral restroom. So, I think that's great. I think that we should have these gender-neutral restrooms. I've been in many public spaces. I was down at Cal Poly, actually, and Cal Poly only has gender-neutral restrooms in all of their facilities. But it was a common occurrence in listening, especially in the elementary world, about the lack of being able to go to the restroom in a short amount of time that we have to go to the bathroom. So, hindsight, those unintended consequences. Thursday's going to be my first coffee and donuts. So every Thursday with Trinity's Thoughts, we're having coffee and donuts. And I'm starting at Lincoln School, so I'm very excited because I need to get a Lincoln School representative. They're one of my friends who didn't come, but it's okay. I love all of them, and I love Mr. Brown. He was principal at Terra Buena whenever my kids were there, so he's just super great. And then I hope to continue each of those on Thursdays. Knock on wood, I feel good every Thursday, and I should get through every school by the end of the semester, and then I can repeat. So I'm very excited for that. Other than that, I hope that we have a really great next 2 weeks. I can't believe next week is already September. Didn't we just start? Wasn't it just August 3rd? I feel like we just had our new teacher orientation, right? And next week is September, but not Labor Day. That's extra late. So just be forewarned, Labor Day's late. That's all I have.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good evening again. I'm still Mercedes. Didn't change, just a few hours. Again, we made it through the first really 2 weeks now of school. We consider we started on a Wednesday. We're already having tests in classrooms, which is really cool. I'm seeing that. Our facilities are still out there kind of finishing up some projects, getting them done But schools are looking really good. I always like that look right when you come in, when there's nobody in the hall, and you can, especially the 100 wing at YC, because it's really long. You see all those shiny floors and shiny lockers, and then you see spills all over the place in an hour. So, and then of course our IT department continues to just pound it out with all the tech issues that are always happen at the beginning of the year. People get new equipment, they don't know how to use it. There's different changes with all that we went through. So I really have to do a big shout out to our facilities and our IT department for that pushing through. Unfortunately, that means some of my IT people that are on my e-board, sometimes they're a little MIA, but we made it through. Today, we did the first of our 4 new hire orientations. CSE does them 4 times a year in conjunction with the district. And we had a great turnout today. Both sessions we had 10 or so employees, which it's hard to get them there, bringing them out of school, out of classes, off their jobs, but we were able to talk to about 20 people. It was really a great discussion. The district's added some to their part where they're making sure employees know how to use Frontline, which is really good because then, they're using Frontline, then they don't have to call me because they get in trouble for not using Frontline. So hopefully that's good. I know you've heard many of us talk about the gate at YC, the back gate on Park Avenue. It has flat tires right now, but Mark had somebody out there fixing it, and we got reports that they're replacing the gate, the real gate with concrete, good wheels, something that's going to be easier to open, because when we get off work, and we get off work before school ends, if we're parked in that Park Avenue lot, we have to get out of our car and unlock the gate and get back in the car, pull through, get back out and lock the gate, because I'm not authorized to leave it open, right? Unless somebody's there coming to open it, I'm going to close it even if I know they're coming right behind me. So it's good to hear that they're getting new. I'm assuming they're putting a new gate on the whole entire thing and not just one side or the other, because it's always either this side or that side. It's never both of them at the same time. And the next week we're back to work with our job description task force, and we are still working on our office job descriptions. Hopefully we'll get through those in the next couple sessions. And we also are going to pick back up on Tuesday on negotiations. So that's a really good plus. I thank you for looking at those job descriptions. I hate to throw monkey wrenches in things, but I didn't even, the piece that you were talking about the stipends. Yeah, our contract really lays out how those stipends are applied and who gets them. And just because you have a degree in underwater basket weaving doesn't mean you're going to get a stipend for it, because it's not related to your job. So making sure that all groups are still applied equally is important, because the way it was written, it could have been improved, felt a different way. So thank you very much for that. And we will see you next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, comments from board members?
I just wanted to say a shout out to, I want to kind of piggyback on what Mercedes said as far as maintenance and IT. The emails we've gotten from the IT department, and they just go out district-wide. They don't really come to us as board members. We're just part of the information loop. But the amount of work, if you look at all of the updates that the IT department is throwing out there, I can't imagine the amount of man hours and hard work that's gone into getting things to run the way they're supposed to run, and something about the phones and all of that stuff. I mean, it's just an insane amount of work that they've done very well. And I know that there were some problems in communication. There was a couple of classrooms that were left kind of funky. But I think if people, teachers, classified, whatever, if people learned who to contact when they have an issue to get things resolved, I think it would go a lot faster. I think there's a little bit of a drop in the communication chain. So I think that's something that we can improve on. But everything is great now, and I just want to say people have worked really hard to get this year going, and I really appreciate it.
Hear, hear.
Very good.
Comments from superintendent?
Yes, so August 28th at Berry School at 10:15 is the assembly, and NBC media will be there in celebration of Kristen Kircher and the community for voting. So that'll happen. So you should have gotten an invite from Principal Love. I think did he not send that? Okay. Oh, maybe I was supposed to send that out. I was supposed to send that. I will send that to you guys. So I'll send that out to you. I am going to bring up an unpopular topic, and I know it is an unpopular topic. It has been, but I think I would not be doing my job if I didn't bring this up. So I included a request to bring back to the board for consideration to close Yuba City High School for lunch. I think we are in a very different time. I completely understand the tradition associated with it, but we are in a very different time, and the challenge of keeping visitors off campus during that time frame is one of the challenges that we're faced with, and so I bring it forward as a safety concern that I've brought forward several times, but I do believe it is the time to consider it. I know some of the concerns were how will we feed the 1,500 students. Already had a conversation with Chelsea Slattery, and they can comfortably feed the 1,500. They're feeding 1,800 over at, or 1,700 at River Valley. And then I know that there would be questions from the senior parents, principal, and I had that discussion about if there were seniors who were in good standing, would there be a way for them to leave campus to experience that for their senior year. Those are good standing, meaning good attendance, good behavior, and academically. And the proposal would be we would close the campus with the changing of the board policy. It would be implemented in January. So again, I have a husband who was a graduate, and at the time when I brought this up several times, he was all into the vision, but he had a conversation. People are understanding the safety aspect now, and so I'm bringing that forward and would bring forward the policy that would change that and close the campus for lunch.
Has this idea been circulated at Yuba City High School among the staff?
It has not been to that extent. I think some of the teachers have brought forward, some of the parents have, and I think the question would be is, as the governing board, I mean, I understand staff input, but the concern I have is, how do you reconcile that? Because you're going to have those who are with a long-standing tradition, they don't believe in it, but I'm bringing it forward as a safety issue for the students at Yuba City High School. I think we can talk about with the staff about implementation, but I think it's the board's decision about whether or not the campus should be closed during lunch.
When you bring this forward to us, can you, I would really like more, for lack of a better word, transparency on what you see the safety issues as being. And I'm not at that school, and I don't know what's happening and all that. The last thing that I recall big thing with safety was that we don't have security cameras in different areas and things like that. So that was the last safety concern that I was hearing. So to see or hear that there's unauthorized individuals that are entering the campus, which I don't doubt that, because the nature of it being an open campus. But I'd just like to know to what extent safety concerns that you have or staff has or a community has.
And the actual incidents and how often, what is the prevalence of people who are not supposed to be on campus coming on campus?
Well, I think the thing is, so the campus is wide open, and so
it's not really wide open.
Well, the points of access are through multiple sources, and so I think, and I'm not trying to be argumentative. What I'm saying is that one of my biggest concerns is that you're asking for statistics. It's going to be statistic when it happens, and then it's going to be too late, and that is my biggest concern. And so there are people coming on campus, and law enforcement will reinforce that. I can have our SROs would be happy to come talk to us about it, but I think it's the cameras, though, were never intended to be surveillance cameras, and we don't have anyone monitoring them you'd have to have someone dedicated to that, so that's not the
Totally.
intent.
And I don't mean my comment as being accusatory or anything like that. I just want whatever information brings you. I don't doubt that you have concerns, Doreen, and I know that your concerns are coming from a place of like worry, right? I genuinely do feel that. I would just like to know what's bringing that worry. Like, is it gang affiliation that you're seeing? Is it this, that, and the other? I would just like to have more of a comprehensive view of how you got to your perspective, because you're privy to a lot more information than I am, right? Like, you see and you hear of all the incidences and maybe those high activity that happens at that school that I'm not privy to. So that's what I mean by like, I would like more information on.
Well, with that, sorry.
When you bring it forward, because I'm not saying that I'm opposed to that. I would just like to have the whole picture to get to that conclusion or not.
So we are having a lot of non-school affiliates on our campus, is what it sounds like.
Yes. I'm not going to say there's a lot on campus. I'm just saying it has been a concern that has been brought up over the last. It's not, and it hasn't just been this school year. It's been the ongoing issue. We don't have enough. We would never have enough people to monitor who's coming on and off campus. The other concern is when our kids leave campus, what happens out in the community. You live in the community, Greg, and I think you know what I'm talking about. And so it's one of those things. It's just. The best way to keep kids safe is to keep them within the campus walls.
Do we have, or is there hot spots where the kids are hanging out these days after, like, I don't know, like, back when I was there, there used to be certain hot spots where the kids congregated.
I don't know if they're where they're
It was
congregating this
affectionately
year.
called Stoner Park.
I mean, it's like,
I don't know
I would assume there's probably still those types of spots, but I mean, like, do we know where those places are at this point in time? Are there groups of kids gathering in places such as?
Or are they still on their phones and not leaving campus?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, what's the culture like these days? Like, I feel like you said, like, Stoner Park. They used to go to the park and groups of kids.
Yeah, I don't know about that place. So
Well,
They don't invite her.
Well, I'm just saying, but it's like, I mean, there was certain places like such as like that, like that
Right.
kids used to go to congregate, but it is at that point, it's like, or kids these days not leaving campus and because they're doing this. They're on their phones. I mean, I don't know. Do kids?
They are leaving campus because
definitely
when you
leaving
go
campus.
by there at lunchtime, it's
It's a zoo.
it is.
Well,
It's,
and my other question is, at River Valley, they have a whole different type of gate and fence than they do at Yuba-City. And at Yuba-City, I believe you can still have the push out, like you can get out by just pushing out.
Yeah, the outer gates are locked.
Okay,
That's at Park Avenue gate.
okay.
Can I just say, all Doreen is asking for is to bring it forward,
Yeah.
right? And when she brings it forward, just trying to see, okay, is this something we can agendize? When it's brought forward, the burden of proof is on the presenter, right? To provide the statistical or emotional, logical reasoning behind a move such as this. And then it's our job to decide if that makes logical sense and it fits in with our mission and our vision for the schools, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see any problem with you bringing it forward.
Me neither.
That doesn't mean I'm voting for it, but provide the information and let's look at it. Like, I don't think there's is there a reason we shouldn't look at it?
No.
No.
All right, go for it. It's like,
Anything else, Ron? No. Okay, perfect. Next board meeting is September 8th. Open session is at 7 a.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's like,
what? 7 a.m.
professional.
Second.
Professional.
I'll second it.
I think Londa did.
It's okay.
Londa did.
On a motion by member Downey, second by member Lamb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I wasn't.
listen and watch. You can support or sponsor. Help keep the community aware with Yuba-Sutter.LIVE.
Facebook.com/live streaming YS. YouTube.com